Hey guys, what's up? Steve here with SCPA Weather Forecast Model Analysis Discussion for Friday. We have the afternoon models in, and still coming in right now is the latest GFS model, which is the American model. Haven't even looked at it yet, so I'm going to shoot from the hip with that, but I have been doing some studying and some analysis of these coming in and some things I want to tell you. The big storm scenario is still on the table. Some people, I hear chatter on social media today where it looks like some of the totals could be relatively low. I am not, pardon me, got to put some chapstick on. I'm not buying that at all right now because still from what I see, particularly in the confidence now that the European model is showing, that is the king of modeling. Now, that doesn't mean that it's 100% right at all times, but I weigh that like a 60-40 over the GFS and other models. So when I make a forecast, I'll go like really more like 50-35 to the GFS and then the rest for the Canadian. And then sometimes I'll throw the Canadian in where the GFS is. It all depends on what I think is going to happen. So I apologize that these are long, but I try to inform and educate, and I want to show you what goes into making a forecast, particularly with these big storms, because they get everybody excited, they get everybody hyped up, everybody wants snow, some people hate it, some people rely on it, such as myself and others that plow snow. I am a snowplow contractor, so the more snow that falls, the bigger the pain in the ass that it is for us, the harder it is on our equipment, but also the more money that we make. It's called white gold. So I get excited about it. Others do as well. It's February, or it's the end of January. It's supposed to snow. We live in the Northeast. So let's just go over this. I want to show some good news with the European. So a lot of that chatter that came in was probably because the overnight runs of the European, well, the 6Z run anyway, was like blah. Let me show you. 6Z run. Now, pardon me. You probably can't. Okay. I'm looking at a screen that is this way. No, wait. That way. I wanted to make it bigger so you guys could see it. And then my camera is on my other laptop, which is looking this way. So I'm going to be looking like that, looking at the screen. Don't mind me. I was trying to find better ways to do this. I'm not going to waste my time nor yours. Just deal with it. All right, so this was the 6Z, and we're at Sunday, 1 o'clock. Light snow, maybe Virga. Virga is it's snowing up aloft, not reaching the ground because the air is too dry. So we're going to have to keep an eye on that. But even if it was coming through the clouds, it's really not going to be doing much of anything. Coatings. The real meat of the storm looks like, from what the European's saying, doesn't really start until Sunday afternoon. Let's just say between the 2 and 6 o'clock time frame as it stands now. That might change as we get closer. We will update. But anyway, this 6Z model run was, just wanted to throw up in my mouth. Let me just run it here. Now, real quick, this is precipitation. This is a storm system. You have a storm out here, which is transferring or decaying to a new storm system off the coast down here. This green that you're seeing, grays, this is precipitation. In this case, it's going to be in the form of snow. Down here, this is the amount of precipitation. That, all you got to know is green is 1/10 of an inch. The darker greens are 1/3 of an inch. And as you get up here, that is 1 inch. Now, this is an hourly timestamp. So what you see there, like right now in York, PA, verbatim, you would have anywhere between 1/10 of an inch of rain up to 1/10 of an inch of rain, which under normal circumstances equals 1 inch of snow. So this is all coding stuff, okay? Now, just because it says that it's going to be 1/10 of an inch doesn't mean we're going to get an inch an hour. That is not what I'm saying at this point in time. But what I'm going to show you is that some things may occur here. But let's ride this through. All right, so now that you know what you're looking at, boom, boom, boom. So European says still light snow, Virga, and then finally by late afternoon, this is 5 o'clock, we start getting into the darker grays, and then the greens try to start creeping up to the south central PA area, the Mason-Dixon line, but it looks like the main part of the storm goes off to the south. The European was showing this 2 days ago, if you recall, if you watched this. And I saw this and I was like, it doesn't look good. Didn't like it. And then you'll notice that this, like, it separates. See how that main batch of precip down there separates? And then you'll just notice that, like, over south central PA, the precipitation just like dissipates. And then we're into, this is 5 a.m. So Monday morning, 7 a.m. And it's saying basically this storm's over with. This is a southern Jersey over to DC, Baltimore storm. And that's it. Storm will be over with, according to that model run of the European. Didn't quite buy it. Remember a couple days ago, I was telling you that the big things were down here, and then all of a sudden, thought they were going to come up there. I still think that. I still think this is what's known as a South Central PA special, is what I call it. I lived in New York for 17 years, and I've been watching them for 17 years in New York. And one thing that I always notice is everyone knows where Ocean City, Maryland is, right there. Just put that on the map. If you draw a straight line out, good rule of thumb is that as long as this low pressure system is from anywhere from here up to here is when we get our best snows. That's funneling in air off the ocean because you're getting onshore flow. You have cold air back here, and normally in this area back here, sorry, that line was supposed to be drawn better. It dumps. That's normally what that means, okay? This model run says, This model run says, Steve, South Central PA, you guys are not getting snow. I didn't quite buy it. So here is what I'm going to show you now. The good news is the newest European model that came out is now still in line with the late Sunday afternoon time start, but notice what happens here. Watch, I'm just going to run this through. So 3 o'clock on Sunday. Notice those greens starting to get closer past the Mason-Dixon line. Basically, all South Central PA is under those lighter greens. And then you start getting to the little bit darker shade of green, and then darker shade of green. And then now that dot's still on there. Basically, this dot is still on there. Okay, I jumped ahead, but just keep an eye on this dot. That's Ocean City, Maryland. So let's get back here to Sunday, 7 o'clock. Those darker greens are basically just sitting over York, Lancaster County, Adams County. It's dumping snow pretty good. See that L that just popped up there off of the coast of, I guess it would be Norfolk, Virginia? See how it really doesn't move all that much? Slowly creeping up. You're getting winds coming off the ocean, and it's meeting with that cold air. And that band is still over York. Now watch what happens. That band's getting darker. That low pressure is basically moving off the coast a little bit. But that band now goes to a darker green. We're up to the 0.3 of an inch. And it goes, boom, and expands like that, particularly over central York. And now what happens is this, still suffering from some feedback problems. That's technical data that you probably won't understand. But the low pressure system is still south of Ocean City, Maryland. And it's still south of Ocean City, Maryland. Now, if the low pressure system is, instead of it being right there, see this 1,000 here? This is 1,000, 999. This model is still having a little bit of problems of where this low pressure system is going to be. If it is here instead of here, then everything that you see here, move it back west even further. But as it stands right now, this is a pretty decent storm still. So let's keep going. Still, it's pretty much still south of Ocean City, Maryland, that darker green, and we are at 8 o'clock in the morning on Monday. So it's been snowing heavy all of Sunday night. Now, you're starting to get what's known as the pivot. That's where the storm basically, let me use my phone as an example. It basically, precipitation's coming off of the ocean, and then instead of it moving like this is a horrible idea. I'm not even going to try. Well, basically, the back edge will tilt. That's what happens. And you can even notice that in this presentation here. So I'm going to run here. We're still at 9 o'clock in the morning on Monday. Pardon me, it's my neighbor calling me. Probably wants an update on the stock market and the weather. Now look at off the coast of Jersey. Look at those blues. That's heavy, heavy, heavy snow. If that is verbatim, that's heavy snow. And I'll show you in the model output. But now see how what happens here is this begins to separate. That's because the low pressure system is, as you can notice, due parallel and a little bit north. What's happening is that the precip shield is starting to break up. Instead of getting the winds off of the ocean, you're now starting to get the winds off of the land. So you're actually getting drier air funneling in. Now, there are effects that I can't explain to you in here that can help keep the precipitation in longer. A lot of it has to do with energy, vorticity, stuff like that you won't understand probably unless you actually know what you're talking about. But I just want to keep showing you this because we're at 11 o'clock on Monday morning and still snowing good over York. Now that break is starting to get closer to York County. And what this is saying, notice how that low pressure is basically just sitting there. It's like, watch, let me go back a couple here. It like did a circle. It went from, look at right off the coast of Ocean City, 995 millibar low. It's a pretty good low, but I think it actually will be a little bit lower. And if that's the case, if it's like 2 millibars lower, or it's like a difference of a lot of snow. And also this whole area being filled in. So that's something we got to watch. But look at it just dance around. It's not moving. It's basically stalling. So once again, if this low is right here, then all this green is back in here. If this low is out here, then the storm's over with already. So that's how difficult this forecast really is, because how long this stays around for is a determining factor in how much snow is going to accumulate. But we're going to let it ride. Now, basically, Ocean County, Jersey to Long Island's getting blasted with this, verbatim, if this is right. And by, let's say, 11 o'clock on Monday night, we're done. Now, if you recall 2 days ago, and even yesterday, the modeling was showing it sticking around to Tuesday afternoon. It doesn't look like that is the case as it stands right now. We're out here, as I said, pardon me, one thing I want to show you is, see how the precipitation ends, and then right about here, what's known as like back, like right there, it like throws a little bit of back. Now that's very light precip. But you throw this low 75 miles this way, and you'll notice it really hasn't gone much more north of Ocean City. It's danced around, it's pivoted, but it hasn't gone much more. So that tells me is as long as this low pressure stays south or parallel to Ocean City, we can get hammered back here. We really could. And normally we do. So we're going to have to watch it play out. One thing, I said 10-to-1 ratios. Normally, that's like with temperatures around 30 to 32 degrees. I want to show you something. Temperatures, Fahrenheit. When this snow starts, oh, another thing too, as soon as it starts on Sunday, it's going to accumulate because it's going to be cold. And you know how cold it is out there today. But we're talking Sunday afternoon, temperatures 28. Now watch this. 27, 26, 20, going down 25, 24, 23, 22. So as we're getting that heavy snow Sunday night, temperatures are in the low 20s. That means that we're going to be getting higher ratio snowfall. The standard 10-1 is going to be higher than that. So if you had 1 inch of precipitation on a 10-1, you would generally have 10 inches of snow. Well, when you have higher ratios, such as 11-1, 12-1, 13, 14-1, well, it goes up. I don't have the calculations in front of me right now, but you just need to know it goes up. So look at this. So 20, now we're talking like 2 o'clock in the morning, like Monday, 22, 20 degrees, 23. So 11 a.m. on Monday, we're still in the mid 20s. And what this is showing now is that as the precipitation starts to end, temperatures rise a little bit on Monday. And then, of course, the cold really sets in. Higher ratio snows. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back here to show you some model output. Now, these are outputs. These are not my forecasts yet. I want to show you a pretty big difference. You ready? This was the 6Z European. Saw some things off of that posted to me. They're like, oh, some modeling is only showing 2.3 inches of snow. Yeah, it was off the 6Z European. The newest one that came in is now upwards of 10 inches of snow based on a 10-1 ratio. Let's do this. Cuchera model, because I like that a little bit better in this case. York, 14 inches of snow is what the European's saying. Let's go up here, get out of this, go to the European ensembles, 50 members. Averaged out into one forecast. 10-1 snow. This is pretty good news here. Now, I don't know if you noticed, but on the Cuchera model, it showed that this part of Jersey had like 24, 25 inches of snow based upon that model run. And the ensemble showing, 10 inches. So back in York here, it showed, 10 inches of based upon 10-1. So the ensemble run is showing about 7.7. So a good rule of thumb if forecasting would be to say, okay, well, this is a pretty good forecast. However, those numbers can be significantly higher. Now, let's go to the snow total by all members. And I want to show you something. These are all still showing some decent storms. This is the first of 25, okay? So this is a 6-inch storm. That's a 3 to 6 inch storm. That's a 6-inch storm. That's a 12 to 20 storm. That's a 6 to 12 storm. 6. You get the point here, I think. This shows a complete miss. Looks like the 6Z model run. Do I think it's going to happen? No. Is it still a possibility? Yes. We will know more for certain by tomorrow morning. That's a good storm. That's a good storm. That's a great storm. Still, all these are good 3 to 6 inches of snow, many of them 6 to 12 inches of snow. Let's go to the other one. That's not the one I wanted to go to. Snow total members. All right, here's where I wanted to go. Good storm, blah. Great storm. Okay storm, a little bit too far southeast for me. good storm, okay storm, blah. Great storm, great storm. When I say great, I'm talking over 16 inches. So we still have a good amount of models showing this. So good news is the European 12Z run that came in today says game still on. Let's go to the Canadian. While we're here, let me get off of this. I don't want to compare anymore. Okay. While we're here, we might as well show the temperatures. Where are we at? Canadian is saying Sunday morning 22. You notice throughout the course of the day, it's in the mid 20s. Overnight, mid 20s, 24, 25. Even Monday, so pretty cold storm. Let's go here to the precip, and I'll show it every 6 hours. Now, if I recall, I believe I noticed that the Canadian did have some mixing. Now, really, that was the only one that has since shown that. But we'll go back to the output. And so this is Sunday morning, 10 o'clock, 1 o'clock. These are every 3 hours. 4 o'clock, Sunday 7. So this looked like Sunday's not all that big of a deal. Storm finally develops off the coast. This is 1 o'clock in the morning, Monday morning. And then here you're getting some of these heavier precip amounts. You'll notice that this was also in line with what the European was saying. See that darker green right there? That right there, friends, that is some very heavy precipitation. That's a 3-hour period of 5.5 to 0.7. That would be 2 to 3 hour per inch rates right there. Wait, yes, 2 to 3 inch per hour rates. Sorry. And that would be Monday morning. So this is saying Monday morning travel. Forget about it. You'll notice how close this cutoff is here. So once again, this low, you'll notice that the low is still south of Ocean City. And this Canadian is showing exactly what the 6Z European showed, except it didn't give us a lot of snow on the front end, the 6Z European. The Canadian is. It's basically saying storm over with by Monday afternoon. And this is a South Jersey to Baltimore, D.C., Washington. It's pretty far south. So where this low pressure is, I would say yes, but I still think there would be a little bit more back here. But if you were to get this low pressure, say right there, then this is right there. And that means all out snowstorm. But anyway, the Canadian, I believe, had a decent event. And now it's showing see this deformation band. That's what I was getting technical about, to kind of keep precipitation in. And we're down to a 989 millibar low pressure system. That's a good storm, very good storm. So Canadian says all in all over the 2-day period, eight to 10 inches, but down here in this stripe, some 22s, 16, 20s are popping up. As I said, if that low pressure system, which was there, is here, then this moves there. Now that's the 10-to-1 ratio. Let's see what the Kuchera says. Kuchera is 27. That's a hell of a snowstorm for that area right there. All right, let's go to the Icon quick. Just want to show you the Icon snow printout. This is a model that I will start to use closer to the storm. I do actually like it, and it's been pretty consistent. It's a German model, showing now this doesn't have a Cuchera, but this is over a foot of snow. It has it a little bit more further north. Let me go back here just to show you. This is the 18Z run. The 12Z run had an all-out pretty decent storm. So if you factor in the Cuchera with 18 inches, you might as well say 23, 24. And then if you go to 6 hours prior to that, once again, very good storm here. 15, figure the factor of the Cuchera, about 18 to 20 because of the colder temperatures. And then if you go back to last night's model run, that was 21 to 27 here in Harrisburg. Once again, non-Cuchera. Factor the Cucheras at about 4 to 5 inches to that. So the Icon model has certainly come down. It's come down almost a foot of snow, but still, it's a foot of snow. It's a pretty good storm. Now let's look at the GFS. I haven't even, haven't even looked at this yet. This is brand new, fresh off the press. I didn't know what I was going to get, but GFS has been starting to show signs of what I call my South Central Pennsylvania special. Let's just go over this multi-parameter quick. I want to see how this turns out and make sure everything looks good with what I see. Now, if you recall, if you've been watching this, the GFS has been always more of a Sunday event into Monday. So it's been a two-part system. So this is, let's see, Sunday. I don't want to get too technical with you, but these are isotherms. And normally the best snow shows up between the -3 and the -8 isotherm. I know you probably can't see this, but this is a -6. So let's see how this plays out. So this is Sunday morning, 7 o'clock. Once again, Virga. Now this is the 18Z. GFS runs 4 times a day, 18Z. And there we are, mid-morning. See, these greens are getting closer, so it's saying an earlier arrival period than what the Canadian and what the European are saying. And it also pushed a little bit further north. But once again, overall, Sunday would be more of a lighter event, but still, whatever falls is going to stick. There's that -3 isotherm running right through York, just north of Route 30, the Pennsylvania Turnpike. So this is 7 o'clock on Sunday, and watch what happens here as we go forward. I haven't even seen it yet, but I can tell you what's going to happen. 10 o'clock. There's the break, and then here comes the build, and 12 o'clock, we get that. Now we're at 10 o'clock in the morning on Monday. Low pressure 998, still south of Ocean City. That's a common theme on all these models. Once again, if it's this further, then this is up here more. If this is down 2 millibars, then all of this is blue. But generally, GFS is saying 10 o'clock in the morning. Once again, heavy snow. Heavy snow at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Heavy snow at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Heavy snow at 7 o'clock on Monday. Heavy snow at 10 o'clock on Monday. Moderate snow 1 o'clock in the morning on Tuesday. Moderate snow central York County and parts northeast 4 o'clock in the morning on Tuesday. Finally, it's out of here by Tuesday morning. And I already showed you this, but we'll go back into it. 10-to-1 ratio. Showing that big winner right over basically, that's Thomasville Airport, 18.3. That's the most that I see. Down here, if you look, it says 18.5. So this is saying that this is a South Central PA special. Let's go to Cuchera, which factors in upward motion, colder temperatures. 22.8. So more like 5 inches more. So the potential for a big storm is still there. We will gather more data this afternoon and evening. And as we get to tomorrow, we should have a clear idea where we can come out with the forecast. I'm going to just tell you, and let me just look at one more thing as I show you this, see if this is up here yet. I want to see if the ensemble means came out yet, because they were starting to hint at something last run. And it kind of figured what was good. Okay, so let me show you. So GFS has an ensemble mean now of 12.8 inches over Thomasville. You can see here, this is the darkest shade of purple. All right. Let me go back a past couple runs here. This is what the 12Z showed. This is what the 6Z showed. This is what the 0Z showed. The one common theme that you see is that the heaviest snow has been always over South Central PA. In response to what the GFS is saying is that York County is ground zero based upon the past 4 model runs. Now, is that going to change over the next 48 hours? Likely. Is it going to shift around? Likely. Is it going to increase? It could. Is it going to decrease? It could. So right now we're in the stages of trying to figure out where this heaviest band is going to set up. But basically from 24 hours ago, it went from 8.4, now this is an ensemble, up to 12.8. That's a pretty big jump in ensembles. We want to go here, total snow by all members, so that you can see some of these are probably printed out well over 2 feet of snow. Let's see what we got. Good storm. Good storm. They would all be 6 to 12 inches, 6 to 12 inches, 4 to 10 inches, 18 to 24, 4 to 8, 18 to 24, 6 to 10, 6 to 10, 2 to 5, 6 to 10. That right there is an all-out blizzard. That is a 24 to 36 plus. So you see these here. They're all really starting to align. So the bottom line is that this area, pardon my drawing abilities on this. This area right here, as I see it now, looks like it's probably going to be setting the stage for ground zero for the storm. Now, is it going to be a 6 to 12, a 12 to 24, 24 to 36 event? I don't know until we get closer, until we see how these systems interact. I'm going to use some averages here, percentages. I say that we have a 95% chance of seeing 6 inches of snow. We have a 60% chance at this point in time of seeing 12 inches of snow. And we have a 25% chance of seeing 2 feet of snow at this point in time. Now, 24 hours from now, those numbers may drastically go up or may drastically go down. We're still 48 hours away from the main event. The main event really isn't until Monday. What comes on Sunday is just considered bonus snow. So we'll keep an eye on it. As again, I apologize for how long these are. I love what I do here. I try to educate and go over everything. Hopefully I capture your attention and don't bore you. I think I can look at myself in the mirror and make myself laugh. So hopefully I can make you laugh as well. And that be that. On a stock tip, Joe Biden, from my last understanding, has 40 executive orders signed in his first 9 days in office. So what's obviously taking place is that the White House demand for ink is going through the roof. So if I were you, I'd go ahead and get myself some stock in Bic pens, because it's going through the roof. Disclaimer, I'm not an expert in stocks, so tread lightly. Have a good one, guys. That's my wife.